We begin this hour with breaking news. We now have a copy of the lawsuit filed by the 34-year-old former MTS worker who is now accusing County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher of sexual assault and sexual harassment. It's our top story here on The 4. I'm Heather Myers.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. CBS 8's Kelly Hessedal has that lawsuit and has read through it. Kelly, what have you learned today?
Well, that's right. You know, the 26-page complaint basically details the affair that County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher admits he had with this former MTS employee. Her name is Grecia Figueroa. She worked for MTS while Fletcher was chair of the MTS board. And these allegations are now coming to light just 3 days after he ended his run for state senate. Now, the reason we're naming her is because her attorney named her in the lawsuit rather than filing it under J. Doe. And according to the complaint, this affair started in the spring of 2021 and ended just last month. Fletcher first started flirting with her on social media. The lawsuit includes screenshots of direct messages they shared through Instagram. First, pretty innocent, nice to see you, and then they started getting more intimate, with Fletcher suggesting they meet in person. You remember there was that house fire at the Fletcher home last year. Fletcher was staying in a hotel while the house was repaired, and Figueroa said that he wanted her to meet him at that hotel while his wife was out of town. She says they met, that Fletcher kissed her, and from that night on, things progressed. She says Fletcher sexually assaulted her on numerous occasions, groping her without her permission while they were alone, sometimes at MTS headquarters or at news conferences. She says because of Fletcher's position and influence as chair of MTS, she feared of what would happen if she didn't go along with his advances. She says she started getting suspicious that colleagues knew what was going on, that his security staff knew what was going on. And February 6th, the same day Fletcher announced his run for state senate, Figueroa says she was abruptly fired with no explanation. Fletcher, meanwhile, denies the allegation. He says everything that happened was consensual. A statement to CBS 8 reads in part, quote, "Last year I made a terrible mistake engaging in consensual interactions with someone outside my marriage. I made it clear it could not continue or advance and desperately hoped I could leave this mistake in my past. However, this individual and an attorney demanded millions of dollars from me and my family with the threat of not only embarrassment, but a willingness to lie about the circumstances and nature of those interactions." So we do know that Fletcher resigned as chair board for MTS last night. MTS has confirmed that. Figueroa says she tried to settle things quietly outside of court, but that just did not work. She says that Fletcher and former Assembly member Lorena Gonzalez Fletcher threatened to sue her for extortion and make her look terrible. Now, full disclosure, Figueroa is an acquaintance of mine. I hung out with her socially years ago, but have not talked to her in a very long time. Fletcher's attorney says he is currently out of state undergoing treatment for PTSD and alcohol abuse.
Yeah, a lot of layers to this story, Kelly. One of the things you mentioned, that MTS also being named in this lawsuit. Do you know what she's suing them for?
Yeah, I mean, she's suing them for sexual harassment and basically saying that they should have known about the harassment going on, or, you know, that they should have known, and that even though Fletcher wasn't her direct supervisor, because he was the chair of the MTS board, he should have been considered basically a manager.
Stunning news today, and we're just getting started. This is going to be playing out in front of us for a long time. Kelly Hessedal reporting live for us. Thanks, Kelly.